Hello everyone, and welcome back to PAX Unplugged, here with Demize. Today I'm here with Rachael Blaske of 524 Labs, the makers of Mintworks and Mint Collaboratives, or no, Control. That's the new one.
Mint Control is the new one,
Yep.
and Mint Delivery and Mint Cooperative.
Yep.
We just get all minty up in here.
And like you have like these really tiny, cool boxes, the mint tins that they fit into, which is amazing. And yeah, so we are going to do another Jenga interview here, and we have, of course, our new Jenga tower this year, courtesy of USAopoly. Thank you very much. And then we're going to use that same coloring system. So the purple is the questions about the games themselves. The tealish blue is the questions about the board game industry. And then the yellow is questions about anything I can think of. So why don't we go ahead and dive right in, and you get the first poll.
Okay. This one looks like it's easy target.
All right, and go ahead and put it right back on top.
This is twofold.
Yep.
Need more coffee to steady my hands.
Alrighty, so about the games. Mint Control is a new one that's coming out, and I got to play that last night. It was a lot of fun. How did the whole thing start with, like, you know, taking these mechanics pretty much and distilling them into these little mint tin games?
Well, so my husband is Justin. He's the designer of Mintworks, Mint Delivery, developer of Mint Cooperative, and then he's also the designer of Mint Control. He saw some sort of challenge on BGG and decided he wanted to try the Mint Tin competition. Okay. And that went well for him. He came up with the idea of Mintworks, which was a worker placement game, and it was really well received. It didn't like win or anything, but he then decided that he was going to take it to the next level. It was his second design that was being published, and so he felt like he had dipped his toes in the water and he was ready for Kickstarter, and he did a ton of research, and there it came.
Well, there we go. Awesome. All right, my poll. Let's see, what have we got? Nope, you're pretty solid.
Depends on what he wants to ask.
Yeah.
The strategy of the colors.
Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty. So, industry question. You had mentioned right before we started the interview that 524 stands for May 24th.
That's correct.
Could you tell me the story behind that? Okay. I'm really curious.
Well, because you had said, is it Mint? I don't even remember. Like, we're known for the Mint Tin games, the Mintworks, and we've considered, you know, maybe that should be our brand or things like that. And that may change in the future, but really, 524 Labs was its inception because my husband and I were married on May 24th, 2003.
Congratulations.
And then May 24th, 2009, we had our son.
Oh. So,
I was equally pleased and disgusted with the fact that he stole my anniversary. I'm like, no, you were supposed to cook until June 6th. What is this?
But you took away that day,
but yes, but it does have some pretty significant meaning internally to our home, and we kind of have continued like to add to the games the same way. We've got lots of little nods to who we are in the games.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like some of the AI are like, one of them is Ari. That's a nod to the Patrick Rothfuss character, as well as the fact that that's the name of our black lab at home.
There we go. Yeah.
So there's lots of little bits that we put of ourselves into the games.
Awesome.
My turn?
Yes, your turn. Your turn to pull.
Okay. I get nervous every time. Nope, that's not it. Nope. Oh God. All right. Oh, that one worked. Okay, we're going pink. Whew. Andale. Okay.
Alrighty.
Got it.
Alrighty. So about the games, I'm a huge fan of cooperative games, and so Mint Cooperative, that one was the one that wasn't designed, you said, by your husband.
Yeah.
So how was that whole process like with getting someone else to design one of these games that he's been involved with so heavily with all the others?
Right. Well, once Mintworks kind of blew up, we just kind of that became our brand. We were known as the Mint Tin people, and so we learned a lot about the process and the inner workings of creating like dimensions and manufacturing and different things that we've learned, and a lot of people have kind of started, you know, looking to us as kind of the expert in that area. So if they were going to try a Mint Tin game, they ask us to like, what are your dimensions and different things. So Jonathan Gilmore had asked either the story that I heard, one of them asked each other if they knew Justin, and he's like, no, I don't know Justin. Well, it'd be really cool to make a Mint Tin game. And they had this, it was like a space idea that we're like, okay, that's not in our world that we're trying to build, but I like the idea. And so they pitched it to us. It was just it was the first time that we took pitches.
Okay.
And because we were so small, and then John and Brian, it was pre-Dinosaur Island. I think he was, you know, just getting into things, and they pitched it to us, and that's how that went.
Alrighty, that's cool. All right, let's see. All right, there's one here. Okay. So, you mentioned that there is a MintWorks world. So these actually, like, they all take place in the same world?
Yes.
Could you tell me a little bit about that?
It's a really cool universe. I'm like, that's my favorite part of everything. I'm a world builder in my head. I like that creativity of character development. And I'm the type that I want to know where, like, this character went to school. Like, I want more of that. And so as we're progressing the games, creatively, we're trying to start getting to know the people that are in it. So like Mort, he had a candy company, and that was MintWorks, and he's building his candy company. And then he got popular enough that he is now in Mint Delivery, having to go out to outlying areas, and he's expanding. And then you got Mint Cooperative, and you've got people causing trouble, these villains that have come in, and it's kind of getting out of Mort's control. And so he's had to call in superheroes to handle all of the issues in the individual locations. So like in Licorice Landing, Liberty Licorice is the local superhero to help, and you know, Citizen Cinnamite and Cinnamon Center, and I love saying all that really fast. But I've had enough coffee to pull it off now.
There we go.
But and I loved that we live in a world of lightness. So it's like there's puns, like the bad guys are gingivitis and placula, and it makes me so happy to just play this game, right? And it's such a hook for, like, do something light and fluffy and fun and laugh at something. It's just supposed to be silly. And then Mint Control actually was designed before Mint Delivery. And so that was kind of like, oh, well, maybe we have other companies that are trying to move in on the candy market now that Mort's doing so well. And so you're trying to kick people out of these areas that he has for MintWorks. And so it's just fun to see where it's all going. And as I imagine and, you know, take pitches and things, people ask a lot. They're like, so what do you want to do next? I'm like, well, I just need a mechanism that's distilled, very easy, 20 minutes, that I can still continue to tell my story.
That's really cool. I never would have guessed that, and it's absolutely amazing.
Yes. All right, is it my turn?
Yes,
I can't remember.
Okay. It's your pull.
All right. Oh, good. We're talking a lot about games, but it's because the pink ones are easy. All right.
Alrighty. So, Mint Control, that's the latest game. And that is pretty much area control distilled to its absolute, like, simplest thing that you could do.
Exactly.
And it seems almost a little bit smaller than some of the other ones, based on at least me having played it a little bit. And, but it still packs quite a punch.
Yes.
So, for that game, like, what was the design process of, like, or just in general for the games? Is it like you start with, like, you know, this general idea of a cooperative game, or not even cooperative, a area control game, and then just strip everything away until you
know, do your research, play different games, figure out what the concept is, and then just start paring away at any barriers, like anything that could complicate things to make a non-gamer confused. If you are continuing to work through and strip everything down to its absolute most, I think that even experienced gamers respect that and find that really delightful, because they are able to do just to see the beauty right there in the simplicity. And I love Justin's designs because what he does is makes it so that it's very simple from a top-down view. But the more you play it, and the more and a more experienced gamer would play it, realizes there's depth in there that oh, you could play this, and it's very deceiving. This looks like you're getting kicked out, but what if you kicked yourself out and then you got a better thing because you were kicking yourself out? I mean,
that's cool.
A new gamer isn't going to think I should kick myself out in an area control game. They're going to see that as negative. But an experienced gamer goes, oh, if I play this right, I see a benefit to kicking myself out.
Synergy. It's just like, you kick yourself out there, but that gives you something to go here. And just like,
I love that.
That's awesome. When things like that develop, it's one of my favorite things in games. So it's like, you've got this simple rule set, and then like you start playing it, it's like, the rule set is simple. But the game's not.
No, you keep thinking through your different possibilities, but yet you can play it super simply in the fact that I can play this way, but you will then, but you can continue playing it, and you don't want to stop because you enjoy bringing people into the hobby because you don't get sick of it. Because there's really enough there for somebody who gets it.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right. So my poll now. Let's see. How are you? Your stuff. Okay. How about?
I think you stacked this pretty hard.
I did. It seems. Let's see. Is there any? There's one. A yellow.
Yellow. Is that randoms?
Yes, that is random.
Randoms.
So, what other hobbies do you have?
Hobbies. Children. I am before I became full-time, and I'm full-time in this industry because before this I was a stay-at-home mom. And so now that they're all in school, I have the time while they're at school to do that. But when you have 4 kids, they get sick a lot. There's always, if I were to take a job outside of the house, I'd be calling in a lot of sick, So I am constantly doing mom things. I'm definitely a mom. That's not a hobby. A hobby for me would be personality, like psychology. I like learning about what makes a person the way that they are, and I really like efficiency. So like if I learn about you, I could make sure that I would never ask you to do something that you weren't good at, so that way you wouldn't get burnt out, or like things like that. Like in terms of managerial stuff, like psychology is fascinating to me.
Oh, it's absolutely fascinating. There's so much going on there.
Yes, exactly.
Brain is a very complicated place.
All right, my turn.
Alrighty, your turn. Yes.
Let's see. I really want that yellow. Yellows are fun. Okay, well this is industry. This will be different.
Alrighty. So, what got you started in the board gaming industry? How did you get into it? How did you end up?
Well, my husband got into the whole thing, and I hated it. I was very angry because he was so. I mean, when you try to run a Kickstarter, you're a one-person show. It is hours and hours and hours and hours.
Oh yeah.
And I really just missed him. Like, I mean, you have 4 kids. It's hard, and you're pretty much doing 2 full-time jobs because nobody ever has it as their full-time job until you're way established in the industry, and he's already a full-time programmer. And so it was like working 2 full-time jobs and having else, and I was like, it is supposed to be fun, but I never see you. So I spent too long like hating it, and then the more successful he became, the harder it became to keep up. And so I finally was like, I really need to help him. And so about a year ago, I stepped in and I was like, I want to help with customer service emails, things like that, just till you get caught up. And then I started just falling in love with the people that I am talking to.
Yeah.
Because all the customer service emails are like, hey, I see them all as people that that I want to talk to.
Yeah.
I love the fans that come up, and when they tell me they've followed us from the beginning, I'm just like, you're amazing. Because that's just a huge compliment, and to know that like I view them as part of my family. So then my very first show was PAX 18, PAX U 18.
All right.
So this is the first show that I have been at multiple times.
Well, there we go. Welcome to your second PAX U.
My second PAX U. Everybody's like, this is the first time you come back to Agata. Yeah, I didn't know anybody at this time of year ago. So.
Well, you have definitely changed that to the tune of helping organize an entire meetup thing that we had last night.
That was super fun. That was great.
It was awesome.
Yes.
All right, my turn. Let's see, what have we got here? Start looking for some prettier ones. Ooh. I don't like that one.
Like, I don't know. You look like you want to end the interview if you do that.
There we go. All right. Got that one.
Okay.
That one is easy. Now. All right. So another industry question. So being she's only new to the industry. You've only been going at it for about 1.5, 2 years, possibly. What are some of your favorite things that you've seen in the industry as a whole, or some of your favorite experiences, maybe?
Favorite experiences. I came into it and I just wanted to help people because I watched Justin work really, really hard for a long time, and it's almost isolating when you aren't at all the shows. And I wanted, I had learned so much that I just wanted to help people that haven't had all the same opportunities that we had. And anytime I get overwhelmed by things that are going on, I just go, okay, did I help somebody today? And if I can answer yes, that means that I had a favorite moment that day.
That's an amazing way to think about life.
I have worked really hard to set up ways to meet other people, because when it's an isolating kind of thing when you work from home, I come to these cons and I want to meet people because I want to feel like I have coworkers, and so starting at Origins, I started doing a women's she-they breakfast, and every Saturday morning at a major con, and we just get together and hang out, and sometimes we'll do raffles or whatever. I just want to meet people. I'm like, bring your business card, talk to, I just want to put faces to names, and I have met some of my closest friends in the industry that way, people that have gone on to do business partnerships with me, and I've hired some of them, ways to find people that are good people and that I want to work with. So that's been really, really cool. Those are probably my favorite, is learning who that I want to be with.
Awesome. That's really cool.
Thanks.
All right. Your draw.
Ooh, that moved really quickly. Oh, God. Oh, this may be it.
Got it.
Oh, wow. Oh, I don't know if I got it. Okay.
We're there. Got it. Cool. Still standing. Awesome. All right. So, being in the board game industry, especially as a woman, it's a different kind of experience than something that's, me, for example. What has your experience in that way been?
I think that there's a lot of things that are not being addressed that need to be talked about. I feel like honestly, even myself, I catch myself doing it. I'm like, I've had times in the past that I've gone up to a booth and maybe addressed the male at the booth when really the person who I needed to talk to was the woman, which is really, I hate saying that,
Yeah.
But I've also had the same thing happen to me. Like, I take everybody out to dinner to treat my staff for helping with the booth, and the one guy that's with us gets the check, right? And I'm like, it's just the way that things are, but they're slowly changing. And the more that we talk about it, and the more that we allow for people to be in that space, the better. And I think that part of it is just your own past experiences too. Like, I haven't really had a lot of negative interactions in that way, whereas some women have, and some that identify as non-binary have. I mean, there's so many other things that we need to think about, just to be a more inclusive community. And as long as we are doing our best, I think that should be recognized. Even if our best isn't enough yet, it's better than it has been in the past. We were talking about how different it is just in the last 10 years. And I like the direction that we're going.
That's awesome. All right, my poll. Ooh, that thing's on.
Ooh.
As long as it doesn't knock it out a little bit. All right, there we go. So, what is the coolest place that either you've played a Mintworks game or that you've heard of someone else playing a Mintworks game?
I know this one. Rachael played it on safari in Africa.
That's cool.
And lost it there, and so he had to get another one.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I've heard of like Thailand. I've heard of all these other things, and it's amazing. Somebody else said that they were playing it on an airplane on the tray, and they were trying to read through some rules, and then that got the person next to them involved, like, oh, I wonder how you do this or whatever. And then she's like, oh, I know the publisher, I'll just get another one, you have it. And so awesome. She gave him he's like, this is great, I'm gonna really dig into this. And he'd not really been a gamer. And those kind of stories come out all the time. It's just so cool to me. And I love telling people at these cons, like, if you play Mintworks and if you play it solo, that means you could try to beat me because I'm one of the AI.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so I'm like, look, this is me. Try to beat me. And that's actually a funny story because he designed that. My husband designed that AI, and he called it the Keeper, and I thought it was being really sweet. Really, it means that standard of behavior of that AI is that you keep all the mints, and mints are money. So I take all the money. Forever immortalized in a game. Thank you, darling. I know, right? I know. I'm like, thank you. That's whatever. He's such a goof. I mean, but having the inside jokes makes me laugh.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. So my turn?
Yes, it is.
Okay, let's see. Oh, it's getting wiggly. Oh my goodness. All right, there we go.
All right.
Industry.
More industry stuff. Okay.
So just sick of talking about the industry.
Man, we started with a lot of things about the board game, and now we went into a lot of things about the industry. For the Kickstarter things, and so my understanding is all of the Mintworks or all of the Mint games have been on Kickstarter.
Yes, they have all been Kickstarted.
And you were mentioning that at first it was it's so taxing and it's just a lot of work.
It is.
Have you been involved in the Kickstarters recently and all that?
I have. Mintworks and Mint Delivery were all Justin, and then Justin stepped back for Mint Cooperative, and he did a lot of the development work, and then the Kickstarter itself was all me. Okay. So I did all of the prep, and I worked with our graphic designer to make the page, and I wrote all of the text, and then we made out like the content calendar to keep everything going during that, and trying to do 1,000 different project planning. I am really nerdy and efficient. Like that's my happy place. And so I like graphs and things like that. And so there's a website called Trello, and people use that for project planning. And I had downloaded what's it called, like a Chrome extension that makes it so that you can view all of the little, because to those who don't know, Trello is kind of like sticking post-it notes in categories, and then you pull them over to change things. Well, I had put all of the stages of a Kickstarter in that, and then I downloaded this this extension called Elegant, because it's the Gantt charts. And it changes them so they all look like a timeline.
Oh, nice.
And so it instead of going down, it makes everything go out to the side, and it shows, and you can change like to when it is. So and then I color coded them by what part of the team needed to work on, development, marketing, cool. whatever. And so it was nice to be able to see all of that and see, okay, this is how long it takes. But there's so much that goes into it, especially if you haven't done it before. And there's so much organic marketing you have to put into. And I'm just starting to understand Facebook marketing and things like that. It's just
very difficult.
and a lot of the things that you do see in Kickstarter are all homegrown people who don't. It's not possible to have every single skill set.
Oh yeah.
We're all just trying our best, and
exactly.
And there's no magical formula for everybody to be good at everything. So we're just doing our best and hoping that you see our products.
There we go. Yes. I mean, that's all we can do, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right. Now it's my pull. Oh, not you. Alrighty.
Ooh. I am really impressed with how steady we've been, considering my lack of caffeine and depth perception.
Yeah, I mean, it's still standing. That's the important
thing. That's really
right?
impressive.
Yeah. All right, so Mintworks, that is the one that started all of this.
Yes.
To be honest, I haven't played it. Could you give me a bit of an overview of the game and just like how that all started?
Well, basically, you're ending up, you're putting out locations, and you are using your mints to place as workers on the locations to activate abilities. Things like buying a building and then building it. My terms are going to be rusty, but you can purchase something, but then not, and then you have to build it later. Yeah. There are different ways to do it, and it's also a lot like Penny Lane, which came out through Sparkworks because it's the same. Justin and his co-designer Mel did that one as well. So there's a lot of similarities between Mintworks and Penny Lane. Just like one level deeper than Mintworks. And then as you're doing that, they interact with each other differently, the different buildings and things like that. And at the end, you're just trying to get the most victory points, and it's so simple. I mean, when you can explain it all in like under a minute, that's really all it is.
And do you have a favorite Mint game? I know it's probably like choosing between your children, but
that's funny though. Okay, so things I like. I'm gonna start. Things I like about it, Mintworks was everything to us because it's got the biggest fan base, and it's amazing to hear how people use it frequently to have good quality time with their friends. And introduce people to this hobby that encourages that. Mint Delivery, I like that one because I'm the soccer mom that drives everywhere, and I'm very efficient, and I always beat Justin because he's not. And I love that one. And then Mint Cooperative, I like to play that one solo because I don't want to, it's like a dice drafting kind of thing when you're trying to figure out what you're, as a team, going to do. But I like to like really think through the different things. So if I play it solo, I don't get rushed, and I can really make the choices that I want to make instead of trying to hurry. And that's fun. I love that whole world. I just absolutely adore it. Mint Control, I honestly think is my favorite.
Oh wow, yeah.
It is so easy to explain, so it makes perfect sense in my brain. I like that the theming all works, and I like that it's another one from my husband's brain.
Well, there we go. Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, Mint Control.
Wow, that's awesome. That's that one's coming to Kickstarter. When is that coming to Kickstarter?
3/3.
There we go. March 3rd.
Yep, March 3rd of 2020.
All right, so I think we're going to wrap up, and you're going to get the last pull. And so with this one, just pull anything and let the tower fall.
Okay. Well, I'm going yellow because I did not get any, like nowhere near the amount of awesome randomness I was expecting.
Yeah, the yellows have been very...
They're solid.
Solid.
So there we go.
Awesome. All right. So this is a question that we ask everyone. And we're going to compile a chart of this at some point.
Excellent.
What's your favorite donut?
I like cherry filling.
Ooh, that's a unique one.
I like the ones that have filling on the inside, but I totally can't have them because I went keto like a month and a half ago. So there's no sugar in my life. Now you're making me mourn my choices.
Sorry for reminding you about donuts, but...
Donuts, but yes, apparently jelly-filled donuts.
Well, there we go.
It was so awesome getting to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining me, and thank you all for joining us here for another Jenga interview here at PAX Unplugged. Hope that you enjoyed it, and definitely stay tuned for some more interesting content coming out.